David Tua was a ferocious power puncher.
He is the puncher right now in the heavyweight division.
I mean, they're going to be David Tua dolls. They'll be David Tua Pokemans.
Comes right at him. Another big bomb. Ruiz is down.
His left hand was one of the most potent and destructive weapons in boxing history.
Tua came storming out. It's over. Tony Perez stops it.
Still undefeated, David Tua.
They recognized the need to keep Mike busy, so Tyson fought almost monthly.
That's his trainer, Kevin Rooney, who was a pretty decent welterweight in his day, 5'10". He is not a big heavyweight. He's only a kid. Mentor and father figure, Customato, has been raising him in the fistic arts.
Tyson was like a sponge. He just absorbed everything that Cuss had to teach him.
His marauding style, coupled with blistering speed and head movement, seemed unstoppable.
The head movement, throwing the punches with bad intention.
Take your eyes off the ring card, girl. Watch the fight. We've had a good first round between Mike Tyson and his third pro opponent, Don Halpin. He definitely was hurt there. Looks apprehensively at Tyson. Kicks away. Good right hand. Halpin down. Early in the fourth. Can Tyson finish this? I think so. A jolting little left hook that shook Halpin down to his heels.
He quickly developed a reputation for first-round knockouts.
Did you ever stop and think, like, man, how lucky am I that I ran into that man?
No. He said he summons me.
He summoned you. Whoa. He summoned you.
Because if you take a boy and you teach him how to fight from beginning to end, part of you is in him too. So that when he fights, part of you is in that ring.
Yes, Mike Tyson, in my opinion, the most exciting young heavyweight in boxing. He keeps punching.
Schedule 6, but hold on to your hats. Nobody thinks it's going to go that far. Down he goes, the left hook. Just buried him, dug him in the ribs.
I think it was a
Michael
left and a right.
Johnson went goodbye. And it's all over. Goodbye.
I hope he's not hurt because that was a brutal, wide open punch.
I'll tell you, Michael Jack Johnson earned his money the hard way tonight.
And still undefeated, Mike Tyson.
The man, in the truest sense, is an animal, but we say that in a positive way.
To use the word animal might be a bit of disrespect, really, but he certainly was in the ring. I mean, he feared nothing, and he was brilliantly trained and managed. He was well looked after and well taught, you know.
What level of aggression to beat Canelo should we expect from you tomorrow night?
I've never seen Kirkland try to play rope-a-dope that tells you how hurt he must be.
I want to be on him so close, it's going to feel like we're
Down goes Kirkland.
Hey, how you doing?
And then Canelo started to counter with big power and just blasted him out with one of the great combinations we've seen in recent years.
He demolished James Kirkland. A signature KO. One for the highlight reels.
And Shirley's going to stop the fight. What a performance by Canelo Alvarez. Maybe all things considered, the most electrifying of Canelo Alvarez's career. Good left hand, and down goes Williams. is the knockout of the year, if nothing else. A sensational, shocking, one-punch knockout of a normally iron-chinned, top-notch fighter.
And Jefferson comes out. Can he stay on his feet? What a left hook!
What does it take for a real knockout puncher to get the job done?
No count necessary. Derek Jefferson, I love you.
This is the greatest boxer of all time. I don't care what anyone says.
Joe Frazier's left hook.
And Bob Foster goes down again. It's all over. Joe Frazier wins by a sudden, dramatic knockout in round 2.
The devastating power of George Foreman is something of a legend.
Big George Foreman. In his career, he's copied the baleful stare of the man who once was his boxing hero, Sonny Liston.
Before Mike Tyson, there was Foreman, a mountain of a man who scared opponents and spectators alike.
Hit it, and he is knocked out. George Foreman wins his first professional fight.
He claimed what was once considered the greatest prize in sports, twice, as two different fighters, two different human beings.
The three that really scared the hell out of everyone were Sonny Liston first, then George Foreman, who was like an improvement on Sonny Liston, and then Mike Tyson.
George mimicked his persona after the great Sonny Liston.
I met Sonny Liston. He became my role model. He had to be the most angry fella I'd met. He'd look right through you.
He had this very forbidding and intimidating, utterly hostile manner about him.
And after he lost Morales, I told myself it's my job to make his right hand as good as his left.
With more time to work with Pacquiao, Freddie Roach began the process of turning the one-punch, one-style Pacquiao into a well-rounded warrior, capable of using both hands with equal destructiveness. Their relationship was rooted in much more than just boxing, as Manny would look to Roach as a father figure.
He's not only my trainer, he's also my advisor and like my father.
His mitt sessions are a thing of legend, as his power has a tendency to damage his trainer's hands. He is known for his relentless pressure, which is born of seemingly endless reserves of endurance. These reserves are not given, but earned. Manny jumps rope for over an hour straight each workout. When he runs, he is followed like Rocky Balboa down the streets.
Pacquiao trained by the veteran Freddie Roach, former protege of the great Eddie.
And an exciting conclusion to the Morales-Pacquiao trilogy was in high.
This is our first quarterfinal matchup in the Bantamweight tournament.
Inoue took part in the World Boxing Super Series tournament with a chance to unify the flyweight.
So here we go then. Stretched on the canvas, and it is all over.
See? This level, imagine. This level. I'm not machine.
First round.
Boy, he's throwing
a jab that's landing like a right hand, but he's not off balance when he's throwing it.
Thumping right hand, Golovkin.
Pulverizing Ishida with his jab. He just keeps coming. Like some sort of Eastern Bloc Terminator.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Knockouts in a row.
Joe Louis, the greatest boxer ever lived.
The devastating Joe Louis of old. Now, in slow motion, here is the champion in all his fighting fury.
The Brown Bomber. Now that was a great boxer.
A right cross, and Billy tries to hold. An explosive combination sends Khan crashing to the canvas here in round 8.
And when I walked in that building and Mike Tyson walked into the ring without robe and the reaction of the crowd, I had never at any time seen anything like that.
He wears no robe. He wears no socks with his boxing shoes. He says that makes him feel more like a warrior, more like a gladiator as he enters the ring. And eclipse Floyd Patterson as the youngest heavyweight champion of all time if he wins the title anytime before May 5, 1988.
Mike has an ability to slip punches that has not been seen in the heavyweight ranks since Muhammad Ali.
Still undefeated, Mike Tyson!
Rocky Marciano had something that you can't teach people.
Which is just brutal
brute
power.
strength.
Marciano misses a left hook. Connects with a smashing right. Another right. As he racks up his 45th consecutive triumph and his 40th knockout.
Rocky Marciano, the greatest champion in the history of boxing.
Every time I start talking about boxing, a white man got to pull Rocky Marciano out there.
A legend in his own time.
Down he goes.
He was the only undefeated retired champion in any division. His record was unsurpassed. 49 victories in 49 fights. 43 of them by knockouts.
Marciano is down. In this first round, he seems phased up the count of 3. Another left hook. Marciano's been staggered time and time again, but he is full like strong. Jersey Joe Walcott is leading on all 3 scorecards. 7 rounds to 5. Rocky Marciano has to knock out Jersey Joe Walcott to win this fight, and his corner has told him so. He's down! He's down! 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and out! New heavyweight champion of the world, Rocky Marciano!
In his 7th professional fight, Loma moved up in weight to face off with the junior lightweight champion, Rocky Martinez, in Madison Square Garden.
In December 2012, Showtime first aired Wilder in a step-up fight against another tall, unbeaten heavyweight, Kelvin Price.
Bombs away for the Bronze Bomber. Bomb Squad!
What a shot. That shot! Price down and maybe out as the referee administering the count. The right hand delivers just like that. Deontay Wilder picks up his 26th knockout in his 26th pro bout.
Stunning fashion. Roy Jones Jr. goes to 16-0 with 16 knockouts with the big left hook.
Okay, now let's go to the biggest punch you ever delivered. Who was it?
This guy named Art Sawano.
Art Sawano.
Yes, it was in Reno, Nevada.
Oh, boy.
Boom!
Holy.
Big right hand.
Is his head still attached?
Yeah, look at his ass.
Oh, my God!
He had a seizure.
That will finish it. Shades of the Jorge Baca fight for Roy Jones. His second straight first-round KO.
Tommy stands 6'2", arms longer than a football field, knockout power in both hands.
Tommy's starting to loosen up now.
There never has been a dull Tommy Hearns fight.
Oh, there it is.
Tommy Hearns is the ultimate warrior.
A solid left hand to the jaw. Oh! He's out. He was out before he hit the can.
And with 38 knockouts, the Hitman became one of boxing's most exciting fighters.
Well, there's a certain kind of knockout punch. There's something, being a big man really doesn't matter. It has no significance.
Using every inch. Oh, what a punch!
Boom, perfect timing.
I can't believe that. Never been stopped in his career, and he's out to the world.
He's a gentle human being outside of the ring. He's soft-spoken, but he's the kind of guy who would back in Greece, he'd have a sword in his hand and he'd be out in the sawdust coming at you, and you wouldn't want to see that.
And there's a sneaky uppercut from Holyfield.
He wants to get in there with you, and get close. He doesn't want any fooling around.
As a pro, Holyfield's rise was swift.
Y me agarraba un puñal. Y esto es con hecho, no es mentira. Yo no juego como Ñega, como Oscar. Ni estoy debajo la falda de mi mamá.
Tonight, he is the challenger. The former junior lightweight, former junior welterweight, former two-time welterweight, former two-time super welterweight, and former WBO middleweight champion of the world, the Golden Boy, Oscar de la
Hoya. I think there could be instantaneous fireworks here. Oscar is not dancing.
Big shot by De La Hoya. He caught him.
No sabes ni representar tu raza, por eso. Mira, todos los latinos van a estar conmigo.
Big shot by Organ's hurt. This could be it. He's down for a second time. Mayorga is disoriented.
Mira, paisano, te respeto a dos cosas que yo amo. Dos cosas. Ayer dijiste algo de mi esposa y ahora mencionaste a mi raza. Y con eso no se juega. Y te voy a noquear. Mayo 6 te voy a noquear.
And Mayorga stave him off. He's not moving. Good shot here by De La Hoya.
And Oscar went in to apply the finishing blows.
Big shot, and that is it. J80 does step in.
Manny would face Juan Manuel Marquez for the fourth time. Marquez was a legend in his own right, and his final battle with the Pac-Man meant the world for his legacy. He was hungry. Meanwhile, Manny was becoming increasingly occupied with his political career and charitable works.
We're not preparing the way we should for this fight.
Have you said this to Manny?
Of course.
You told Manny that he could lose the fight?
If he keeps on the road he's going, yes.
We become civilized because you don't have that same mindset. You don't have that same conviction. I call it tunnel vision. You gotta have tunnel vision.
It was a lot like Rocky III.
You can't wear two hats in boxing. That's a whole different concept.
And of course, since he has held political office in the Philippines, he has adapted his lifestyle to that of responsible public representation.
Or like Rocky said, slice it. The eye of the tiger. Right. You gotta have that to win.
Cus was revered as an all-time great boxing trainer. As fate would have it, he just happened to be in proximity to perhaps the most talented, gifted fighter to ever exist.
And now, his seasoned eye for talent has spotted a fresh, up-and-coming young heavyweight named Mike Tyson.
You know, because I started to learn who I could really be. Not who I wanted to be, but who I could be at that particular stage of my life.
Tyson comes out slugging.
He comes out smoking like Marvis's father, Joe.
You got knocked the out. It did not last 20 seconds.
His fastest knockout, which came against Marvis Frazier in 1986.
Right now, there is Jim Jacobs, yes.
Manager Mike Tyson talking to him.
Look at a guy like Mike Tyson in his prime. I mean, he was the epitome of dedication.
By the fight, I was confident. I trained real hard with my trainer, Kevin Rooney, who I owe a great deal to.
Kevin Rooney had guided Tyson's training every step of the way. Much like Mike, Rooney was a disciple of D'Amato and had been with Mike since he was a kid. Their closeness allowed Rooney to continue to press Tyson for strict training discipline, despite Tyson's growing fame and ego.
Well, the fact remains, the press and the public alike continuing to sing the praises of this man, Mike Tyson. They think the next great champion.
You would get into the ring and people were scared of you.
Okay, don't anybody go to the toilet or the refrigerator. Mike Tyson has short working hours. He punches in and punches out.
One of the things that's always fascinated me about you is this ability you have to intimidate opponents. A lot of them seem to have been beaten before they got in the ring almost.
To weaponize fear in a way few ever have.
When you came around, all of a sudden, everybody's watching heavyweight boxing. If heavyweight boxing wasn't boring again, it was the most crazy, exciting thing in sports.
Face of George Foreman, and for that matter of Ron Lyle, each speaking for itself. Just look at this.
He would immediately be tested by fellow brawler Ron Lyle.
We're about to bring you what we think promises to be a slugfest, a legitimate heavyweight contest.
One of the great back-and-forth wars in boxing history.
A good right by Lyle, and he's got Foreman in trouble. He's got him in trouble.
I was hit so hard I didn't even feel it until I hit the canvas.
Foreman is down. It started with a right, then a left.
I've never been hit so hard in my life.
Now Foreman fighting back. Foreman trying to hold together. Now George struck back. Now George fought back with a magnificent right.
If every boxing match, world title match, would have ended like George Foreman, Ron Lyle heavyweight title match, there wouldn't be any UFC.
Some punches, and just speaking in general terms, you've said some punches are so ferocious that they don't hurt. They actually will interrupt communication between the tower and the ground.
Foreman goes down! Foreman goes down! Lyle fights back!
Again, if only it had hurt, I would not have gotten up. It was like you are no longer the same person. You see your legs wiggle, and you're not in control of yourself.
Now Lyle is hurt! Now Lyle is hurt! What an incredible fight! Utterly without boxing skill. Just punching away. Each fighter, in turn, leaving himself open. This time it may be over. This time it may be over. Lyle's not going to make it, Howard. He's not going to make it. A knockout in the 5th round.
He won in spectacular fashion.
Nobody brings it home like Joe Vincent.
Nobody. Make it so.